Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hawaii Entrepreneurs. I'd like to thank you guys for coming through. You're here at the place where we connect, collaborate great with some of the top influencers, entrepreneurs, artists, and top leaders in our local community. And today we have a real awesome treat for you. Today we have Ethan Hole here, along my side with Darren. Darren, Ethan, you guys want to say what's up real quick?
What's up, everybody? Happy to be here.
What's up, everybody? Glad to be here, and we're just so thankful to be with Ethan here today. So take it away, Keely.
Yes. So Ethan, can you share a little bit about what you do, your story about how you came up with your product and what you're doing? Because I honestly believe Hawaii as just its economy and its state, and just growing up in the islands, right? I think we all can kind of connect with something like this with what you're doing. So can you just explain to our HE community a little bit about what you do and how you're doing it, brother?
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys want more like of a detailed, like how I got started, what I do, yes, there's an article published on Yahoo Finance recently about Kala Capital, me, and the whole start. But for me, it started off as like a young kid growing up in Hawaii. I had like super diverse friend groups, like not to copy Robert Kiyosaki, but I had like my rich friends and my poor friends. And there was like stark differences between how each of them managed their money. And then what I started to draw parallels between was like how they managed their money and the type of financial freedom they had, and then the mindset that it gave them. And a lot of times I realized that if you don't have the financial resources to pursue the things you're passionate about, you start to like close yourself off mentally and you're not able to tap into your full potential. So it got me really interested in like personal finance and getting your money working for you and working smart, not hard. So investing. And then I ended up, going to school in New York. I went to business school at Fordham University's Gabelli School of Business in New York City. I figured if I'm going to study business, and I actually studied entrepreneurship, I should just be like in the hub of where everything's going on. So got my education there. And then after college, came back to Hawaii, wanted to surf, wanted to be in the Hawaii community. I love the beach and I love the lifestyle that, we have the privilege of living here. So I came back here and realized that I'm really passionate about financial planning, started working right out of college with a company as an independent contractor, being a financial advisor for a lot of our community. I was working face to face with a lot of people for over 7 years. And at that point in time, I realized, I think I can have a lasting impact and change in how this industry goes about financial planning. It's, I always think of it as an age, I say like an industry where dinosaurs do exist. Like it's very, very old school. So I'm hoping to bring a new school flair to it and kind of base a lot of what we have in education and teaching people how to fish and not necessarily giving them a fish, and teaching people how to preserve their financial resources and grow it over a long period of time. So try to keep it simple and short, but.
No, I think that's a great overview. And like I said in the beginning, I think it's really important because a lot of people don't understand it still. Maybe they're older, it's maybe a little bit too late, but the whole saying, right? Fail to plan, plan to fail, right? So no, I think what you're doing is amazing. And one of the things you talked about is that financial advisor. So what is it that you do for people? Like, what is the definition of a financial advisor, and what is it that you personally do for these people?
Yeah, so a financial advisor integrates all the different elements of financial planning to really co-create a roadmap to help the client move themselves from where they want to be right now, financially speaking, to where they want to be in the future. So taking an accounting of like your net worth, how your cash is moving throughout your various accounts, what are the goals that you're pursuing, what's important to you. And a big thing for me is making sure my clients are on purpose. So making sure that if they tell me being able to retire at age 59 and a half and being able to travel the world and have a property in Hawaii and have a property in California, so they can have whatever it is, making sure that the way they're purposing their money, the way they're using their financial resources is in alignment with the things that are what they're telling me is the most important to them. And just making sure that they're staying on the track that they see getting themselves to their, their end all be all destination. You add in financial literacy, education, the strategies, the techniques that really optimize how you use your money. And that's kind of what you get when you have a financial planner. So I think of us as a quarterback to your game of creating ultimate wealth. We may not necessarily be your tax expert or your estate planning expert, but we're going to be able to bring all the elements of financial planning together to something that's very easy to comprehend and understand for a business or an individual person.
I think that's really important for that person to comprehend and understand it. So, hey, Ethan, can you tell us a little bit like who is like your target audience, or like what's your ideal client, and like what do you solve for them?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're still trying to figure out who our specific ideal client is, but right now we know it's business owners who are what we consider new money millionaires. They're stepping into wealth that they weren't used to having before. So a lot of small business owners who are just starting to really taste success, and they start to have more money pouring into their business than they're really used to dealing with, and making sure that they're creating the appropriate systems and strategies and using that money well is kind of our ideal client. But then we work with a lot of individuals who may not be business owners, who just want to make sure that they're operating their personal finances like a business. So smart, efficient, putting their money to work for them. So we work with both. We work with entrepreneurially minded people, whether they own a side business or a hustle, or they're a high income earner in general. But our favorite people to work with are people who share our passion for creating businesses, creating literally like taking nothing and creating something out of it. Because we believe that's how Hawaii is going to become more financially literate, more financially free. We're going to take those people who understand that they can create something of value for their community and be paid their worth. And then they're going to teach their children how to do it. Those businesses may stay in the family, but overall generational wealth will become much more of a thing in Hawaii than it is right now.
Yeah, that's perfect. And it's funny because, with Hawaii entrepreneurs, you just mentioned, your goal and your passion is to fuel our local people to do stuff like that. And that exactly lines with what we're doing. So, everything that you're doing, right, is I think very important for anybody coming through this that wants a business, that owns a business, or wants to do something with businesses in essence. But it sounds like, you're going down the right path. It sounds like you know what you're talking about. I asked what a financial advisor does because for a lot of people, right, it's too technical for them. But for me, I understand it, but I just wanted to give you a chance to say, what you do primarily. But look, it looks like you're on the right path. What is the big vision for Kala Capital, and where do you guys see your company going within the next maybe 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, that's a good question. I actually want to backtrack. I think a little bit about like what people think of a financial planner. I think there's huge misconceptions out there. The old school way of thinking of a financial planner is like someone who is pushing product, is selling you a product, is saying, oh, I got the best returns because I got this, that, and the other within our product, or I have the best insurance policy to meet these needs at this lowest cost. And that was what like the old school financial advisor did. It was a lot of competing off performance and whatnot. But I think the new version of a financial planner understands that, but understands that their most valuable attribute is being able to mix in the human emotional side and like the human side of financial planning or maybe even financial coaching with the financial investment and product and vehicles that you need for a financial planner to actually execute on the mission. Kala Capital's mission overall is to just give quality education, guidance, and inspiration and coaching to the people who really seek it and need it. We weren't taught financial literacy in school. Most of our parents don't have a good understanding of what it means to be wealthy or financially literate. So we want to create a system, a community that teaches true financial literacy so that each generation can begin to teach the next generation. I mean, the whole reason why I started a business and I want to do it myself is be able to solve the problem of financial illiteracy. And either people are functioning in financial illiteracy or they're functioning in like a lot of these old money belief systems that there's some truth to them, but they may not actually integrate with the new money mindset. So being able to blend those two together to package it up in a way that is exciting for a young new money millionaire to actually be a part of and take advantage of and use as a resource. But also making sure that you're putting away enough financial resources so you can truly be wealthy in the long term and not just necessarily like have a high income as a business owner so you can look flashy and buy the nice things today, but you're not feeding your future self or your family or their legacy. Yeah, I mean, I want to take this company as big as it is reasonable. You know, I can't say if I get to make, you know, a point of making $100,000 in revenue or $250,000 in revenue, like we have these revenue goals. I don't know what that's actually going to entail once we hit the goals, and if it's going to be worth it. But I want to create a system that's going to continue to solve problems and provide value to our community well past my being on this earth. So
awesome, bro.
Well,
Hey, I have a question, Ethan. Like currently with Kala Capital, like how many team members do you guys have right now?
Yeah, so we have two team members that are like full-time, you know, on payroll. And then we have a network of, you know, portfolio managers, bookkeepers, tax planners, estate planners that help us deliver on the idea of having a holistic financial plan.
Nice. Kili, you have anything?
Yeah, I want to chime in real quick. You know, you mentioned about the old school of just, you know, rate of returns. I just want to know what the best is. And everyone just tries to beat everyone. You said something that I think is really important is having that humanity aspect of it, right? And it's not just about sales, because if it's just about sales, right? I mean, if it's just about sales, then relationships wouldn't matter. Who you know, you just talk about networking with other people. But maybe I wanted to see if maybe you can drop our viewers here and our community a little nugget, all right? With the pandemic, with COVID going on and all of these restrictions and everything else, where do you see right now that, say someone, you know, saved, you know, a basket of eggs, say they maybe saved $5,000 to $10,000, right? And they're working, they're good. Where would you say is a good place that someone can store it for a long term? I would say a long term, because you just mentioned it. I mean, this isn't where you just put it in for 1 month and get it right back out. It just doesn't work like that, right? So where is one of your golden nuggets that you would say is a good place you could store some of your funds for like the next maybe 3 to 5 years and make a pretty good return on it? And I know pretty good is very viable. I mean, it just depends what pretty good is, right? But I would say someplace that's safe and that I would say is risk adverse. You're not going to lose your money.
Okay, so I'm going to answer this question with two different answers, because my personal belief in what we preach here at Kala Capital is that if you want a safe return to park a few $1,000s and you want to really be able to control it and be risk adverse, my belief is the best investment is an investment in yourself. It may be a little counterintuitive, but get education, be financially literate, understand how to make good decisions in general for yourself and for your family, but also focus on things that are your high income skill. So if you're in a sales position, you know, how can you get better at selling? If you need to be able to generate leads, how can you get better at generating leads? If you're working for a salary, how can you make yourself more valuable to the person that you work for so that you have job security or they're inclined to give you a pay raise? It's probably going to be that area where you can have the highest return on investment with taking the lowest amount of risk. Now, if you want to just park something in an investment vehicle for the long haul, not have to deal with it, just kind of set it and forget it, then you're going to want to look at, I mean, personally, our belief, you're going to want to look at low cost diversified investments, things like ETFs and index funds, and you're going to want to manage it from a global perspective. So instead of taking a approach, which I think a lot of people, when they think of a financial planner or wealth management, it's all about being reactive. Oh no, COVID happened, the market's taking a crash. What are you doing to protect my assets? And the reality is it's all about being proactive. It's not about what are you doing to protect the assets, it's what have you done to protect the assets. How are you diversified throughout different asset classes? How are you diversified throughout each asset class? And then making sure that the portfolio that you pick for yourself is in line with your ultimate goal. So if you have a goal of pulling your money out in 5 years, it's much different than having a goal of pulling your money out in 25 years. So making sure that the risk that you take within each of those portfolios that you construct is in line with the time horizon and the timeline that you've set forward for yourself is going to be, one of the first steps. So investment in yourself, self-reflecting, and then if you're ready to put money aside and not touch it for a long period of time, then a well diversified global approach with low cost investments.
Yeah, you guys heard it first right here. I kind of put Ethan on the fire here, but Ethan, I love what you just said, because most people don't do that. They're looking for the next, whether it's cryptocurrency or whatever else. But no, I believe in what you just said here. Invest in yourself. Myself and Darren, we've invested in ourselves to learn some of the things that we've learned, right? And that's what helped us get to Hoy Entrepreneurs and get to going where we want to go. So, for all of our community out there, I think it's very important to listen and hear what Ethan said. He mentioned about relationship building. I think that right there alone is just going to give you, that go ahead to, contact him, and let him know what your plans are and what you're trying to do. But thank you so much for that, Ethan. Appreciate you. Go ahead, D. You got something?
Yeah. So for the community out there watching, as you can see, Ethan is very passionate about what he does. And Ethan, I just wanted to ask you, how can people get in touch with you? Where can they find you? What's your socials? If you can provide that for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can, I think the easiest way is just go directly to our website, clawcapitalpartners.com, capital spelled with an A. It's like money, capital. You can find this on Instagram at Claw Capital, or my personal Instagram's eho09. Wasn't supposed to be a business Instagram. It's turned into a little bit more business because that's just the nature of how I think Instagram is going. So I went from having a big personal thing to now I'm actually posting content that's a lot more around my business. So you can reach out to us via email that you can find on our website. You can, DM us through Instagram. If you guys go follow Hawaii Entrepreneurs, we follow them, they follow us. You can find us through their network as well. That would be the best place to start. Yeah, a simple Google, Claw Capital Partners, should get you there. Awesome.
And then, as we wrap things up, what's out there for people right now to take advantage of? Like what kind of offerings do you guys have? And let us know, let the audience know what you guys can do for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think if you just want to start getting your feet wet and you're not really ready to sit down with an advisor, you don't want to disclose all your information, or you don't know where to start and you don't know who to trust, those are big ones. We found that those are big roadblocks holding a lot of people back. And the reality is time is your most valuable asset and it's finite. So you're never going to get more of it back. So you need to take advantage of the time and that you do have. And what we found is that we have what we would consider a beta program. So it's a brand new financial literacy program that we are constantly tweaking and making adjustments to, which would be a great first place to start. It's called New Money Millionaires. You can access it through our home site, or you can use the link in my personal Instagram bio, eho09. Right now it's selling for $222. It's going to increase in price, but we are taking our first cohort of students where I go in and I teach live lessons in a private Facebook group. We do Q&As, but you also have access to over 60 hours of financial literacy online curriculum that is an awesome program. It literally should have been the class that we all took in high school or college, but none of us got the chance to do. If you go through the whole program, you'll end up authoring your own financial plan. It'll ask you the questions from goal setting, to buying or renting your first home, leasing or buying an automobile, how to set a good budget, how to create a good future budget, how to vet financial institutions, how to, create a team of financial professionals to help you in your journey. It walks you through all that. So our idea was to be able to give something to the community that's affordable, but allows you all the tools and resources you need to be financially successful, but won't give you necessarily the one-on-one, conversations with an advisor, but you get a group, you get a community, which is our student Facebook group, because we believe community is a big portion of actually staying on the path to your financial dreams.
Awesome. Kili, you want to wrap things up?
Yeah. So, Ethan, I want to thank you guys for your time. For all of our Hawaii entrepreneurs out there, I want to thank you guys all for joining. If you guys would like to be part of this or would like to get interviewed, please feel free to DM us on Instagram, or you can go to our website and go to the contacts and hit us up. But nonetheless, I want you guys all to hit up Ethan. You know, you guys can tell his passion's there, you know, and I think his vision for Hawaii and what we're trying to do here aligns perfectly. And hit up Ethan. He's going to take care of you guys. We're tuning out, guys. Hawaii Entrepreneurs, the place we connect, collaborate, and create. Mahalo, brother Ethan. Mahalo, Darren, for coming through. Appreciate you guys. Aloha.
Aloha, everyone.